Hey again. So, the purpose of my video today is, and I'm sure a lot of you, it's like if you're looking for this stuff, you're gonna find a million videos about certain topics like this all the time. Um, but long-term food storage. Right now, there's a lot. There's several ways that you can store food for long term. Um, and it's like um, I'm experimenting with a few of them myself. I have a dehydrator on the way. I'm gonna dehydrate some fresh fruits and vegetables. I'm gonna put those in I'm gonna get one of the food sealers. Put those in the plastic bags, seal those up. We'll see how that works out. Um, but today, um, plastic bottles. Right now, depending on what site you see, you're going to see people that are going to be for or against plastic bottles because one, as plastic does breathe. Okay, so plastic is not as long term or as stable as say glass and metal, but I think that for some foods, plastic is a viable option. Um, some of the pros with using plastic is that if you already drink soda or juice anyway, well, you already have like a third of what you need to safely store food because those bottles are already BPA safe, right? So you're not risking any type of cross contamination with them because they're already designed for that. You need to make sure that they do have the twist on caps that can be sealed up. Um, Another thing, like on top of your bottles, you're gonna need. Well, I would highly recommend you get some of these oxygen absorbers, right? These ones here are 500 cc, so that means that a bottle the size that I have, it's gonna take out the majority of the oxygen. Okay, now before oxygen absorbers, right? And like I said, I'm experimenting with different ways, but this bottle here, as you can see, you know, there's movement. Well, not really. I packed it pretty tight, but the split peas, right? You know, um, and that's before the oxygen absorber, right? And so just to tell the difference here, right? If you look at this bottle here, right, it's like you can see the sides are sucked in. There's an oxygen absorber up there in the top, um, and so this right here is virtually. I mean, it's pretty safe. I'm not gonna say virtually, but this food here, this bottle of beans is gonna last. Even in plastic that's gonna breathe, I do need to seal up the cap with tape. But even with plastic that breathes, this bottle of beans is gonna be safe for a few years. Like, because when you think about dry foods, and again, with the plastic, you're dealing with dry foods, right? Because you're definitely not going to be putting any fresh food in there because it's definitely not good for that. Because you do have to go canning, which will be another video later. But the one thing you have to realize is though, right, for dry foods, this is a good option. Because if you think about it, if I drop these bottles, the likelihood of them breaking open is very slim. But even if they do break, even if they're brittle and they do break open, you don't have like tiny shards of glass that you have to deal with, so you can still salvage that food. And if we are in a long-term grid down SHFTs type situation, this is something that one, it's this is lighter than glass. Um, uh, the mason jars, they're easier to pack. They do weigh more, and you do risk breaking. But with the mason jars, you do have a better seal. You do have longer term storage, which is and that's some of the cons of plastic bottles like this is that plastic does breathe. It's not as airtight as glass. Um, they can be bulkier, which is good and bad because you can store a lot of food in one area, and you drop that oxygen absorber in there, and you're good. Um, and like I said though, um, pinto beans, um, rice. I've got let's see here. I've got some dehydrated mashed potatoes, black-eyed peas, lots of rice, split peas, black beans, kidney beans. Oh, here's one. A lot of people, oatmeal, right? Because oatmeal, it's like, that's kind of like your breakfast meal. And that's the nice thing about these, though, is that because they are lightweight, so it's like if you are packing, if you have to get away, you can throw, a bottle of beans, a bottle of rice, a bottle of oatmeal in a bag, and if you have to, you can carry it. The bottles are reusable. That is another good option because, with these, it's like after you use them, you wash and sanitize them again. You would have to use chemical sanitation with plastic because you're not gonna be able to get them hot enough. So you put that little bit of bleach, you sanitize your bottles, you pop in, you have a store of your oxygen absorbers, and you're gonna get 2 or 3 uses out of this bottle. Eventually, it's gonna be so sucked in and cracked, and it's not gonna last forever, of course. But you do have a certain level of reusability with these bottles. With the mason jars, absolutely reusable, but you have to get more of the lids, right? And again, that's going to be another video. But doing it this way. Oh, and here's one item that a lot of people leave out: popcorn, right? Nutrition wise, not like a lot of nutrition in popcorn, of course, but it is a comfort food, and and it's like I reuse like whatever jars that I have that I can reuse, I reuse. This here is salt. Okay, now salt, you don't put an oxygen absorber in it, but the real enemy of salt is not spoilage, it's water, right? It is water. And since this was I think this was a salsa, this is either salsa or spaghetti sauce, but this was some type of liquid. So the cap, even though it's not airtight right now, but with salt, this will be okay because I'm not worried about bugs getting in my salt. And so you've got salt for long term. When you do buy salt, you definitely want to get them out of the cardboard containers. These ones here, these are in plastic. Okay, this is kosher salt, which and again, kosher salt is good for like when you're doing like pickling, and when you're doing like if you're going to do any type of fermentation type storage of long term. But I think that and there again, it's like, as you can see here, I have like this wide variety of bottles here. This is the only one here that actually has an oxygen absorber because I messed up. I opened up my oxygen absorber packs and I thought, oh, they'll be okay. I just, I put them in. It was bad. They didn't make it. Let's put it this way. So the only one that I really have that made it was this one. And then at that point, that's when I was like, you know what? I had to make sure I have the bottles I need. And then and I saw another video where like with this one here, before I put my this one's gonna be pinto beans. Before I put my pinto beans in here, I'm gonna drop the oxygen absorber in the bottom, so it's on the bottom. Whereas like this one is on the top, which is it's whatever, but it's like I like the idea of dropping it in the bottom, filling up the food, and then you close it up, and then the next. I think this was like I don't know if I really pay attention, but I want to say like a day and a half, 2 days later, all that oxygen, and maybe not even that long. That's when I checked. So, but that's going to be a good thing. And like I said, these foods here, you've got your beans, you've got your rice, your mashed potatoes, your popcorn, your oatmeal. So it's all very dry, very stable anyway. But but the reason you don't store them in like this is, every video will tell you, right? This is more easily compromised because it's just plastic, and it's like it's a bag. So it's like look, this one here. Look, this is what I mean, right? I don't know if you can see it, but right here, no, you can't really see it. But there's already like a small hole in that bag, and that lets oxygen, humidity. So and it's like if humidity gets in these, then and they get wet, then they're gonna start going bad on you. So so there's pros and cons to plastic, to the plastic bottles. I would definitely not put Um, I would not only use one type of storage. I would definitely mix it up. I would use a combination of the plastic bottles, the mason jars, your your mylar bags. You get your food sealer and seal them up. Especially it's like especially if you're doing like dehydrating food, which I'm gonna do. With those, I'll probably put them in. Well, for starters, I'll put them in Ziploc bags because I don't have my food sealer yet. But when I get my food sealer, I'll probably put those. I'll drop an oxygen absorber in there and seal them up, and then they're gonna like really airtight, and and then you can, uh, and like with jerky, same thing, and a good way to think about it is that the dehydration process, it keeps the majority of the nutrition in the food, and when you rehydrate them, they rehydrate pretty much to their original form, but it weighs so much less. But I think those ones here, like these foods, it's like, you put these in a bag, and it's like wobbly and everything. But if you put dehydrated foods in a bag, you can make them real flat and you can stack them, and you can dehydrate, like your fruits and vegetables. Um, and like I said, whether you grow your own or whether you just take advantage of like really good deals at like supermarkets, like they may have gotten like a huge shipment of zucchini in, and their zucchini is really cheap. Well, shoot, buy that up, dehydrate it, slice them, evenly sliced. I'll probably recommend like a mandolin because some people have better knife skills than others. Um, but yeah, take a mandolin, slice those suckers up, dehydrate them, put them in those airtight baggies, and seal them up. And then that way, you've got dehydrated vegetables, right? So now you have vegetables stored up. If you do the jerky, you've got beef stored up, so you do have like some type of protein. I invest in cans of mackerel because I'm not really beef and pork don't really set well with me, and the mackerel, it's like I tried it, and the canned mackerel, because it is canned in like oil and stuff, it's going to have a longer lifespan. It's not going to be indefinite. You definitely want to keep an eye on your cans and rotate them out, date them, everything. Um, but that way, you do have like a combination. But with the dehydrating of like your jerkies, I might even try dehydrating some fish and seeing what that turns out. Maybe get some shrimp and dehydrate them, and store those up so that I do have like some seafood and stuff to eat. But I think that a good combination of all the types of storage is going to benefit you, right? Because like even if you can't reseal up your mason jar because you don't have the lids, they still will form a seal. Not necessarily for long-term storage, but it's like, but like say you can use them to collect. I mean, it's like with these right here too. It's like after you use it, you could use these. You could rig these up so they could collect like rainwater and stuff. So it's like, well, now after we have the food, we can use them to collect water, and then close them up, and now you have like a water source as well. Um, and I think that, but again, we get soda anyway, and it's like these are large bottles. They're 2.75 quarts, so it's like 2.75 liters. Yeah, so it's like 93 fluid ounces in these bottles. So they're larger bottles. They're Dollar Tree, so it's like a dollar for the thing of soda, and so and it's like I got like the 20 oxygen absorbers for like $5. So you figure your storage, and then it's like essentially all I do is every time I buy groceries, I buy an extra bag of pinto beans. I buy an extra bag of rice. So you're looking at like $2. And then and then I'll buy like these things, and in fact this one was on coupon, so I got it for like 50 cents off anyway. And then you store them up in your plastic bottles, and if you look at like what's going on in the world right now, it's like if you look at like trends and everything, and I mean it may not happen, but if you look at like what was going on like right before the Great Depression, and you look at like a lot of the trends that are going on right now, there's some minor similarities, but with everything that's going on in the world, You know, we just had 2 hurricanes hit simultaneously. We've got wildfires in California, so it's like, and so, you really, you should have, you should have like a month or two of food in case you need it for you and your family. I think I probably have about I probably have maybe 3 months, maybe 3 or 4 months worth of food, if if there was nothing else available. So I probably have about enough for my daughter and I for about 3 months, maybe a little bit more, because I have a lot of rice and a lot of dried beans, and it'll get boring, granted, and that's why I want to start dehydrating vegetables and stuff. Um, what else? What else I got? I just had them. Oh yeah, and then of course, um, these bouillon cubes, right? The cubes like this. I got a bunch of those, so now that's chicken base. Just make like just a fire and I got a stainless steel pot. Rehydrate some of the vegetables. You got the beans, the rice. You got jerky. Throw the jerky in there. It's gonna soften up, and then you can make like a stew. So, but it's something that it's never too late to start getting ready. But I think that all these people that are just trusting in the government like 100%, it's like you're gonna wake up one day and realize, damn, you know what? The government, it's like they really don't care about us, and if you don't take actions to prepare for you and your family, no one else is going to, and one of the major differences between like now and between like the Great Depression is that, like, during the Great Depression, if you do research, people truly had each other's backs. It's like, you could get like 5, 6 people, 7 people together, adults with children, like 7, 8 adults, and they would actually, they would share, and they would work together, because it's one guy's out there, harvesting vegetables. You got another guy that's, doing whatever odd jobs he can, get a little bit of money. You got somebody hunting, and they really pull together. And now it's like we don't really pull together anymore. It's like there's more pulling apart than pulling together. It's like, we're busier being mad at each other, and this person that, this person this, and and ironically enough, I am posting this on YouTube, which is a form of social media. But yeah, social media is like one of our greatest enemies right now. But it can also be one of our biggest assets, if we use it right, if we collect information. And that's the big thing is, if we lose the internet, how many of these people are even going to know how to gut a fish? How many of you are going to know how to even freaking, store food up? Because knowledge is what's getting lost. So, but anyway, that's it for this video. Again, those are some of the pros and cons of plastic bottles. After I get these all stored up, I'll do a follow-up video so you can see how they all look like this. And then, but anyway, all right. Well, anyway, you have a great day, and just stay safe out there.